Hey, it's Aaron, metal theologian. Let me just fix this. Alright, there we go. So, yeah, what are we talking about today? Most of some shit that I've been listening to, I suppose. Because it's always kind of fun to talk about records. I have a couple old friends, though, that I've been reunited with. And, I'll get to that in a bit, though, because I want to listen a little more creative first. Yeah, so, right now we're listening to this bad boy, Coma of Souls. Actually, I was going to say it's the last one I have, but that's not true, actually. I have a couple of the reunion ones, so... Yeah, so Agents of Brutality right now, look at that. And actually, you know what's awesome that I just noticed? It's funny because I looked at this several times, but... The creator and Voivod shirt there, it's got to be from like when they were touring together or something. Fucking wish I'd seen that. I saw both bands, but not together. Creator was fucking fantastic live too. That was before I even really got my head around them. I was into them, then I saw them and I was like amazed. So, yeah, so fucking, that's what I talked about Creator last time around. I'm still not done with them, man. Just fucking love this band so much. I came to them late, but I'm making up for lost time. It's funny, this record too, to me, it sounds a little bit more restrained. Like they're holding back just a little bit more than I'm sure the previous records. Actually, I think the same thing goes going on in Extreme Aggression, which is part of why it took me a little longer to get into that one, you know? But it's like, it's not quite as just like insanely ferocious as like Pleasure to Kill or Terrible Certainty, let alone Endless Pain. Like, it's just holding back a little bit more, but there's no less like intensity to it. It's just like, it's not as in your face. It's more sort of, I don't know, just held back a little bit, I suppose, you know, but not like in a way that, I feel like I'm just repeating myself now. Anyway, it's really fucking good. So here's one that I grabbed because, it's a few months ago already, but I grabbed it because Mr. Harmless Rebel, Steve, was talking about it. And I was like, well, shit, it's a record I'd never spent any time with. Actually, I had that first record kind of forever, and it's good, but never really hit my face off. I played this one a few times, but I might have talked about this actually recently, now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, the vocals are very screechy on this, to the point where I kind of have to be in the right mood to take it in. Like, I dig all the prog moves and all that kind of shit, and I can appreciate what they're doing, but, I mean, the only singer I can even think of to compare Midnight to on this one is Mike Solis from Militia. You know, there's really extremely high screeches, you know? That's kind of an obscure reference, probably, although if you're watching these videos, you probably know Militia. Anyway, really good record, man. So, and very proggy. Does a lot of the right shit. Someone recently asked me if I had anything by the German band Brainstorm. It's funny because there's another German band called Brainstorm, which I think is who they meant. But this is one of the few German records that I have that's a metal record that's actually sung in German. I have some from the 70s, not a lot, some from the 70s though, and I think maybe one other one from the 80s, which is not a lot. It's on the Wishbone label, which was kind of a loser label. I mean, they had like Dark Summer and shit like that too. But this is a pretty decent record. I mean, it's really not bad. It's, yeah, what are the songs? The song is actually really kind of odd. It's just an EP. Overkill, Freedom, and Sodom. So, you know, it's pretty much what you get, you know what I mean? It's a good record. It's not really incredible, not really... It's not a face melter, but it's a face softener. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't completely blow your mind, but like, you can feel like the shit trembling in there a little bit. It's a very good record. You know, I don't know. I mean, I was talking about 7s out of 10 recently. This is probably 6 out of 10. You know what I mean? It's cool. I'll keep it. I'll bust it out once in a while. I'm probably never going to come on here and say, oh my god, you got to track this down. It's the greatest fucking thing ever. You know? By contrast, this really is one of the greatest things ever, man. I mean, everyone knows about Angel Witch, I think. In a way, this is kind of as good as it gets, because this, I think I talked about this one on Grown Men Record Night. There are only 7 songs on it, but it's early versions, 70s tapes is this one. It's early versions of really the tunes that appeared on their singles and on the comps, like Baphomet was on Metal for Mothers, Extermination Day was on that Second Friday Rock Show one, Hades Paradise Flight 19 were on the Sweet Danger 12-inch, and the other three were on the LP. So it's really kind of a perfect cross-section as far as their repertoire goes, except it all sounds raw. None of it sounds like, has that slightly anemic sound that they already had on the LP. You know, I've said before, I think the Sweet Danger 12-inch is the best thing they ever did, and I'll stand by that, you know. But if you're going to own one thing and you're not going to spend an arm and a leg, this one's probably the one to go for, because it's just a fucking great record. It's short, but you know, I love short records. Short records that leave you wanting more, right? Let's see. Yeah, here's another one I've had kind of forever. I actually got this solely because it was on Cult Metal Classics. I didn't really know what to make of it. This is Hanker, which is kind of a strange name for a band, really. It's called In Our World, and they're French-Canadian, apparently. And apparently this record's like originally from 94-ish, which is kind of a weird time for your record to be from, but it's a good record. It's not tremendous. It's too long. It has 12 cuts on it. It's probably, I don't know, about an hour, but it's more music than you should probably have on one LP if you like really care about fidelity. It's really kind of just straightforward metal. It's not really thrash or anything like that. It kind of has some prog moves, but I think it'd be a way of an overstatement to call this prog metal, you know what I mean? It's kind of more like just straight ahead metal, but they were putting a lot of effort into the songwriting, you know what I'm saying? And again, it's not great, but it's interesting, and I played it like, you know, 2 or 3 times since I pulled it out after having forgotten about it for probably 10 years. And it's an enjoyable record. You know, probably 6 out of 10, really. But I'm not going to be talking any shit about these guys, you know. Yeah, this is a fucking fantastic thrashy one. I've actually played this a few times. I've been trying to think of some intelligent shit to say about it. For some reason, I'm just coming up blank on it. I don't know. I will share this guy's unfortunate-looking jeans there. In fact, you know what those jeans say to me, those jeans that he's wearing? That's saying that they're making a very much 80s LP in 1990. That's what those jeans represent right there. But this is a good fucking record, man. It's not too long, the songs are punchy, it's fucking all metal, unabashedly metal. It's not as German sounding, they're German, but it's not as German sounding as the German shit I tend to gravitate towards, like Creator, obviously, but also like Living Death, or, you know, I mean, the fucking German bands, I mean, Sodom, I suppose, even Destruction to a certain degree. Necronomicon, you know, maybe Exhumer, even Tankard, you know what I mean? Those all sound really German. This doesn't quite have that going for it, in the same way that Risk doesn't quite have it going for it, but it's still a really good record, man. And it'd be an overstatement to say it sounds like an American record. There's another one here, actually, that was a German one that I was thinking sounded really American. And I don't remember what the fuck it was. Yeah, now it's kind of bothering me a little bit. You know, I'll show this one real quick. This one's actually, I thought it was German because it was on Noise, but someone was talking about this one. Might have been Mr. Kiwi again, actually, I'm not sure. So I was talking about Dutch metal with someone. Apparently these guys were Dutch, which explains why this wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be from an early Noise release. Although this is a very good record. It's just not for, I'm trying to find the year on this, 86. For a Noise record from 86, this isn't quite up to, with that cover, it's not quite up to the standard you'd expect. And maybe that's like the Dutch coming through because, I don't know. But, although, you know something, I just noticed this, man. I never noticed that before. It's an Ingo Novotny production for, it says Novotny Music Enterprises, but that's the Metal Enterprises guy, so maybe he didn't know how to pick them. Anyway, I'm talking this record down too much, though, because this record's actually really good. It's a lot more speed metal sounding than the cover would lead you to believe. You know, it looks like total epic metal, and it's not. It's a lot more sort of it's not really speed metal or thrash metal, like strictly speaking, but it's leaning into that direction, you know what I mean? It almost gets there, and it's really a pretty cool record. Like, if I rate this by German standards, but if I rate this by Dutch standards, fucking tops, man. This is up there with, like, Leader, or, I don't think I quite like this much as the Jewel record that I have, but, let alone Lady, that Lady Killer EP, which is great. But it's a completely different record anyway. Anyway, it's very good. It really is. It's a cool record, and it's a little bit anomalous, you know what I mean? This isn't one of the noise ones that people really talk about particularly. I don't think it's necessarily all that sought after. I think it's probably less desirable than, like, the Sodom record. Well, Sodom was Steamhammer anyway, but, like, you know, Hellhammer or Celtic Frost or something like that. But it's still a really good record. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Well, let's talk about the old friends. Yeah, so, like, God, close to 20 years ago, I fell in really hard times, and to the point where I was really seriously thinking about, like, unloading some records for cash, or some of my rarer stuff that I already had then. Because most of the really rare ones I had for a long time. And I hesitated to talk about this for this reason, too, because I don't like to go there with this shit. But anyway, I ended up letting go of 3 that really ended up eating at me. And it was kind of a classic case of one of those where I was like, these aren't really that great. Well, 2 of them weren't that great. The third one I didn't even know I let go of. But 2 of them I was like, they're not really that great anyway. And then, like, I was like, fuck, man, I wish I hadn't let that go. And so with time, eventually, I, like, found these again. And I might as well just fucking needle drop them all. But, yeah, I mean, this is over the course of many years. I eventually sort of brought all these guys back home, and I just got the 3rd one this past week, so I'm kind of celebrating that event a little bit with this video. So let me put my Creator record over here. So yeah, the first one we're going to talk about is a band from Florida with one of the worst names ever. Thatcher. How bad is that? I mean, seriously, an 80s record by a band called Thatcher. Like, I wonder if there's a British band called Reagan. You know what I mean? Fucking, it's hard to think of a worse name than that. I can think of one, though. Bashful. Actually, that's really close. Okay, I'm going to put on side 2 of this just for the hell of it, because the first track kind of takes a while to get into it. And I think it's part of why I had trouble getting my head around this record for a long time. So, that's funny, there's kind of a warp in this, but it's a hard record to get, so. This is actually kind of proggy, you know what I mean? It kind of has some of those sorts of moves, right? But it's not full-on prog metal. It kind of has that sort of a little bit progginess, like maybe you'd hear like on an early Queensryche, but even not even that much. I mean, can you hear that in there? It's not really in the writing, but it's in the tone. The singer sounds a little bit hapless. Actually, the reason I got rid of this record initially is because I thought it was kind of soulless. That was kind of my criticism of it. I don't really know if I'd take that back, but I really like this record. I really like this a lot. It's so sincere, you know? Robbed of my childhood. Really sounds kind of hokey. Yeah, where are these guys from? I'm pretty sure it's Florida. Pressed at Lake Mary, mastered in Miami. Doesn't really give it away. I mean, I've been to Miami. I've never lived there, though. You know what I'm saying? That's the lyrics. Because my life just wouldn't be the same if I didn't know exactly what he was saying in the song, you know? Yeah. Yeah, so this is one of them, man. let go of the copy that I had years and years ago and eventually found it again. And I'm glad to have. It's funny, I think in all these I had better copies in the past, but you know something, I don't give a shit. I mean, it's always nice to have a better copy of a record, but I'd rather have a record than be waiting for a better copy of a record I don't have, you know what I'm saying? I get credit for a really simple guitar solo here, I kind of like that. You know, it's not too many notes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, in spirit, this is like prog shit. In execution, well, no, in writing, it isn't actually, but in execution, they kind of bring that aesthetic to it a little bit, you know? Anyway, so, we're celebrating this one. I'll bump it ahead to the next track just for the hell of it. It's fun to be highlighting bands that like are not my favorite bands, but what can I say, man? All these bands mean something to me for one reason or another. Even if I totally talk shit about a band, I'm probably showing it for a reason. This is Witch's Sin. Look at these guys too, man. It looks so like Battle of the Bands. Wow, I like this run for a minute, man. Here's one that I turned on not too long, but I found this in the wild. Lichen Grey. Take a look at this. There's a lot more glam than the kind of shit you usually see me showing. I mean, look at these fucking guys. Actually, don't look at the fuck guys. Just look at the one guy. This isn't a bad record at all, though, man. It's not incredible. It has a song called Sexy Sadie that does not seem to be a cover unless it's fucking just unrecognizable. And, yeah, I mean, it definitely smells like, you know, second half of the 80s Sunset Strip shit, but you know something? I don't know, man. This is what Rans sound like when the also-rans are better than what the big names came out to be, you know? So, yeah, Lichen Grey, man, I can handle them. They're good. Thumbs up. Or at least 2/3 of the way up, you know what I mean? Alright, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is Valhalla. And that's kind of a generic name, really, even though it's a cool name. But it's these guys from Pennsylvania. So, pull this one off. Shit. Yeah, look at that, man. Look at that cheesy ass drawing. That's just great. I mean, that's what I love, man. That says pull out your wallet to me. And of course that's what I did, which is why I got it. And I was disappointed because it was way cornier than I wished it were. And then I let it go. And then I went, fuck, why did I let that go? You know, actually, I talk about how the Greeks like have such great taste in metal, man. Like, it was Greek collectors that I was sort of corresponding with and occasionally buying shit from or even trading with that kind of turned me on to the whole concept of epic metal. And one of the guys was talking about this, and I don't even remember what it was that he said about this record, but I was just like, God damn, he's right, you know? And I kind of went overnight from thinking it was crap to just loving it. This is really synth heavy, man. You're going to listen to this and go, I mean, right there. I mean, if it just, the whole thing sounded like this, then it would sound like a Metal Theologian record. When the actual song starts, you're going to go, that doesn't sound like a fucking Metal Theologian record. That sounds like some corny-ass bullshit. The fact is, a Metal Theologian likes some corny-ass bullshit. How about this pretentious third-person talk, right? Anyway, there are a few different Valhallas, obviously. There's one from the 70s that was nowhere near as cool as you would hope they were. These guys, I want to say they're from Pittsburgh or near Pittsburgh. See, this totally has like the epic sound to it. Sounds like there's lots of space. And again, brimming over with sincerity, man. That's why these private presses are so fucking cool. Even when they suck, they're fun to listen to, you know? Alright, so I'll be honest, I don't know where Munhall, Pennsylvania is. I want to say these guys are from Pittsburgh or around Pittsburgh. My money would be on it's a suburb, but I couldn't tell you for sure. It was 84. These guys definitely were not Manowar, you know what I mean? They're definitely not Merciful Fate. But that's the spirit. That's what they're trying to capture. And I can get behind that, man. What can I say? There's actually a reissue of this from relatively recently. All that synth, man. I don't know, it's funny, like back, in like 2000-ish, this just sounded a lot more sort of, I don't know, synthier than it does to me now. Maybe I've just gotten used to it. But what can I say, man? Except that this fucking guy is awesome. And even though it's an angel and a demon fighting, I think the angel's gonna win, and you wanna know why? Because that fucking bulge right there, man. No fucking way the demon can overcome that, dude. Fucking that little tail, that's no match for that fucking bulge. So there we go. Alright, so those are the two that I thought sucked to turn around. And finally the third one that was eating at me for a long time. It's actually a new wave British heavy metal one. And this one just came back to me. And it is JJ's Powerhouse. Never came with a sleeve. I'll fire it up in just a second. Yeah, Running for the Line. The B-side is called Black Rods. I'll let you make your own joke because I just made one that is very similar to what this one would be like. That's corny-ass label, silly side-bin. I mean, because, they need to tell you they're taking drugs. Because, like, rock bands aren't all taking drugs anyway, right? Alright, so let's put on JJ's Powerhouse for a minute so you can hear how fucking fantastic they are. Because they're really good. Then you can go decide how much you care about these bands yourself. You might just go, God damn, dude, is he fucking drunk today? But, I don't know, man. I am not drunk. I just like me some cheese sometime. I do have my limits, though. If you want to check out the Nelson records, man, you've got to tune into Greeno's channel for that shit. He hasn't made a video in a while, but he still likes those fuckers. Alright, this is JJ's Powerhouse. Running for the Line. This is 83, so it's a little bit late for Nwabum. But this is a gem that doesn't get talked about the way, Angel Witch or Witchfinder General or even Hollow Ground do, or Fisk, But this is great. It's a terrible name, JJ's Powerhouse. Fuck those guys. Who the fuck are they, right? But this 45 is awesome. JJ's Powerhouse rules. Riff reminds me of Bread Fam. Singer has that new wave vibe to him, you know what I mean? Like very sort of barroomy, kind of punky. But from the production standpoint, it's fuller, you know what I mean? That's where it sounds like 83, I think. If this were like 80 or 81, it would probably sound a lot more sort of, I don't want to say tinny, but just not as rich, just not as full, you know what I mean? Sort of a thinner tone to it. So fucking good. Actually, I think the only reason I like to look at this record is because I was fucking really hurting for cash. So don't sell your records, man. Do something else, because it took me close to 20 years to get this one back. I'm thinking. I think it was 2004 I let it go. So 15 years. I was going to make a joke about how some of you watching probably aren't even that old yet. But I looked at my YouTube analytics. I know that's not true. Pretty much everyone who watches this is the same age as me, so give or take 10 years. Alright, that's what I've got. 25 minutes in, I don't want to fucking take your whole day up. So thanks for watching. This video felt unusually self-indulgent, but you know something, man? This shit's just fun to talk about, you know? So, what can I say? Until next time.